A girl who fell hard for Yahiko but never got her happy ending. Someone who constantly chased peace but never lived to see it. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the tragic life story of Konan. Growing up, Konan survived alongside Yahiko as street orphans during the chaotic era of the Hidden Rain village. One day, while roaming the streets, she randomly bumped into a kid named Nagato. He had just lost everything and was basically on the verge of starving out. Back in her wholesome era, Konan didn't think twice. She didn't just hand over some food to save his HP. She brought the lost kid back to their hideout, giving him a safe and healing home. To Nagato, Konan was the single ray of light piercing through the darkness, a literal paper angel who saved his run. From that moment on, the trio of Nagato, Konan, and Yahiko stuck together like glue. Calling them friends doesn't even cut it. They were an irreplaceable found family. But everything changed when they spectated an intense clash between Hanzo and the legendary Sannin. The sheer scale of that battle planted a seed of ambition in Yahiko. He realized that you can only enforce peace if your power level completely outclasses everyone else. Locking in his decision, he set out to find the Sannin and learn ninjutsu. The squad packed nothing but dry rations and hit the road. No matter how brutal the journey got, as long as they were fighting for peace, they had absolutely zero fear. After pushing through endless obstacles, they finally tracked down Jiraiya's squad. Trying to win some favor, Konan quickly crafted an origami flower and timidly offered it up. That tiny white flower basically carried the hopes and dreams of all three kids. Seeing these orphans struggling to survive in a broken world, Jiraiya figured it was destiny. Convinced that one of them was the legendary child of prophecy, he locked in and stayed behind to be their mentor. For Konan, it felt like the universe had just blessed her with a top-tier guardian to lean on. Fast forward 3 years, once the trio had leveled up their ninjutsu enough to survive on their own, Jiraiya finally felt comfortable leaving. It was a tough goodbye, but he had to pack up and head out. The war wasn't over, and the Hidden Leaf still needed him to carry the village. Later on, chasing his massive dream of peace, Yahiko founded the one version of the Akatsuki. The organization swore a strict, no physical damage policy, unless it was the absolute last resort, relying entirely on negotiations and talk jutsu to resolve conflicts. But dropping that kind of naive, dreamy ideal into a toxic, backstabbing ninja world was basically just asking to be trolled. When the Akatsuki's popularity skyrocketed in the Hidden Rain, Hanzo started sweating over his throne. He secretly teamed up with Danzo to wipe the organization off the map. They pulled the cheapest move possible, kidnapping Konan as a hostage and forcing Nagato to eliminate Yahiko in exchange for her life. To protect his one true love, Yahiko didn't hesitate, throwing himself right into Nagato's kunai to officially log out of the world. Konan was completely frozen, helplessly watching Yahiko fade away as Nagato lost his mind, completely unleashing his Rinnegan in a frenzy. That absolute despair permanently stained Konan's pure white paper soul. Not long after clearing the battlefield, Obito spawned in. Using his classic brainwashing script, he convinced Konan and Nagato to launch Akatsuki version 2. The new objective? Farm all the tailed beasts, craft the ultimate super weapon, and use it to intimidate the entire ninja world into playing nice. For this master plan, Konan was ready to make anyone who stood in her way vanish, and that included their old master, Jiraiya. Even though Jiraiya still held love for his former students, Konan had completely changed her skin. She was no longer that sweet kid from the past. When Jiraiya finally sank to the bottom of the sea, Konan didn't shed a single tear. If anything, she was just relieved to have checked a major threat off the list. But when it came time to raid the Hidden Leaf and secure the Nine Tails, the duo ran straight into the undisputed champion of Talkjutsu, Naruto. After taking a few heavy lecture combos, Konan actually had her childhood conscience rebooted. As for Nagato, he cashed in his own life bar as the transaction fee to revive everyone who had fallen in the village. Honestly, Naruto's Talkjutsu in that patch desperately needed a nerf. However, this massive U-turn from Konan and Nagato was the ultimate betrayal to Obito. Originally, Obito had zero plans to take Konan out. He just wanted to swing by the village and reclaim the Rinnegan. The problem was, Konan knew Obito would eventually go after Naruto. So, she prepped an insane trap, stacking exactly 600 billion paper bombs for the ultimate surprise attack. But RNG was not on her side. Obito popped his Izanagi, using broken intel to completely flip the board and secure the win. No matter how depressing this finale was for her character, the sky over the Hidden Rain village finally cleared up and shined bright. That's because Konan's will for peace had officially been passed down to Naruto. And in the ninja world, a true dream never really gets a game over.